If you have no friends in retirement, here's a simple fix. So look, if you want a retirement where you actually have people to laugh with, grab coffee with, and call when life hits hard, instead of sitting alone in some quiet house, wondering why nobody reaches out anymore, scrolling your contacts and realizing that most people are old coworkers and not real friends, or watching your spouse chat with their few friends while you pretend that you're fine, then honestly, this is for you. Because my wife and I retired early and we travel for half the year. And we're in Asia right now. And even with all that freedom, we still struggle with something that most people are too embarrassed to admit. We don't have many friends. Not in the US, not here in Asia. And if that hits a nerve for you, keep listening, because we're going to talk about what we're doing wrong, what we're trying to fix, and some simple things that you can do, especially if you're 55 and up, to actually build real friendships in retirement. So hey, it's Jason. I retired early at 39. My wife Darvi, she's from Cambodia, which is where we are right now. And we'll be here for 1 month as part of a 5-month winter stay in Asia. And on paper, it looks like the dream. But there's a side that nobody wants to talk about. And by the end of this video, you'll understand why making friends in retirement can feel harder than making money. How my wife and I are still wrestling with this, and the simple, repeatable moves that you can start using right now to give yourself a real shot at having friends that you actually enjoy, no matter where you live. So let me share something personal with you. We don't have this part of retirement figured out. People look at the travel, the freedom, the flexibility, and they assume that we're out here collecting friends in every country. And the truth is pretty much the opposite. Back in the US, I have a small handful of friends, not a huge circle, not dozens of people, just a few guys that I actually talk to. And even with them, life gets busy. And people have kids, jobs, responsibilities, and sometimes months go by without a real conversation. For my wife, it's even worse. In the US, she's got a couple of neighbors that she talks to, and that's about it. No big social circle, no constant invites, no giant friends group. And then we come to Asia. You'd think, well, her home region must be better there. And yeah, she's got a few friends here in Cambodia, a few. She's got some family, and we do spend a fair amount of time with them. She's got a couple of people that she can call, but it's not like she has this huge network or anything. And me, I have 0 friends here in Cambodia, none. I don't speak the language, so that makes it almost impossible to build a real connection. I can say some basic things, I can smile, be polite, be friendly, but real friendship requires conversations, nuance, jokes, history. That's hard to do when you're stumbling over even basic words. But we do have some bright spots. We've got one friend in Vietnam who we met while traveling. We've got a couple in Thailand that we connected with while on the road, and a couple of people in Malaysia that we also met. And we'll probably visit most of them on this trip. And those relationships are real, and we're very grateful for them. But when you zoom out, that's our entire social network over here. One friend in Vietnam, a couple in Thailand and Malaysia, and a few people in Cambodia for my wife, and no one for me. So here we are, retired early in our 40s, living the kind of life that so many people dream about. And we're still wrestling with loneliness, just like a lot of people who are 55, 60, 70 and retired. Sure, the scenery is different, but the feeling's the same. There was a night not long ago that really made me think about this whole thing. We were sitting here in our apartment in Cambodia. It was an evening, the kind of human night where you can hear the city through the windows, motorbikes in the distance, music, voices in a language that I can't understand. And my wife got a message from one of her friends here. They're chatting, making loose plans. She had that little light in her eyes, just the joy of knowing that someone wants to see her. And I was happy for her, truly. But when she put her phone down, I looked at mine and nothing. No missed calls, no messages from anyone nearby, no one saying, hey man, are you around? You want to meet up for coffee tomorrow? And that's when it hit me. If my wife went out for the day and I stayed home, nobody here would even know that I existed. Nobody would notice that I stayed inside all week. And that's a really heavy feeling to sit with. And if you're 55 plus and retired, maybe you know that feeling in a different way. Maybe your old work friends drifted away. Maybe your kids moved. Maybe your spouse is more social than you. Maybe you feel like you're on the outside of your own life looking in. So we had to get honest with ourselves. We had to stop pretending that this was just going to magically fix itself. Real quick, I went from trading my life away for a paycheck to living on my own terms with $1 million and the world is my office by 39. If you want the same freedom, subscribe to this channel now. I break down the exact strategies that actually work and the brutal reality of what early retirement demands from you. Because you need both to escape the trap and actually stay free. And a big part of staying free is not being lonely. I also want to invite you to something that my wife and I just started. It's a free Facebook group called the 40 North Community. It's a space where people like us, who care about money, early retirement, travel, and everything in between, but also don't want to do it alone. We plan to share what's working, what's not, the emotional side of this journey, and the real numbers and decisions behind the scenes. So if you've been watching these videos and thinking, man, I wish I had people to talk to about this stuff, that's exactly why we built it. The link's down below. Come join us, introduce yourself, and start building some real connections around this season of life. So here's what we're learning and what we're trying to do differently. The first shift is this. You can't wait to feel social before you act. You act first and the feelings will follow later. For us, that means putting our bodies in the path of other humans, even when it feels awkward or pointless. And here we've done that by going to the gym a few times a week, something that we also do back in the US. See, that's a place where people actually show up regularly. And even if you can't speak the language, showing up at the same time on the same days means that people start to recognize your face. And we've got a few people at our gym back home that we have conversations with when we see them. I mean, that's a start, right? We've also made friends over the years through meetup groups and language exchange groups in different countries. In fact, that's how we met the couple in Thailand. We showed up to events where people were already admitting, well, I'm new here. I don't know anyone. Let's try this. And that's one of the biggest lessons for anyone 55 and up watching this. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. You just have to go where people who want connection are already gathering. Now, if you're in the US or in a place where you speak the language, you actually have way more tools than I do here. One great idea is that you can get a dog and walk it in your neighborhood or your local park. Dogs are like friendship magnets. People stop you, they ask the dog's name, you start seeing the same faces. The dog becomes your icebreaker. You don't have to be charming. The dog does most of the work. You can go to a senior center. And I know for a lot of people that phrase feels like, well, that's for old people, not me. But honestly, senior centers are packed with people who are in the exact same boat, looking for something to do, someone to talk to, a reason to get out of the house. Card game groups are another underrated one. You sit at a table, you play cards, and the conversation almost happens on its own. It's low pressure. You don't have to stare at each other and come up with deep topics. You just play, talk a little, and over time, those faces become familiar. Walking groups are powerful too. You don't need to be in great shape. You just walk. And when you walk next to someone for 30 or 40 minutes, well, you end up talking. Over weeks and months, that's how real friendship slowly builds. Active adult communities and recreation centers are designed for this. They've got events, activities, classes. And sure, not everything will be your style. And that's okay. You only need one or two things that feel right. Meetups and neighborhood groups give you a way to connect with people around shared interests. Maybe it's a hiking group. Maybe it's a coffee meetup. Maybe it's a language group like we've used here in Asia. And Facebook groups are a great way to stay connected even when you're not face-to-face. Neighborhood Facebook groups, hobby groups, groups for your city, groups for retirees. You can join, watch, comment, meet people online, and then take some of those connections offline. In a minute, I'm going to tell you the one habit that we keep messing up that's probably holding you back too. And what we're promising ourselves that we're going to do differently from now on. So stick around for that part because it's the difference between I tried and I actually have friends now. But before that, I want to ask you something. Drop a comment and tell me this. What's your biggest struggle with making friends right now? Is it the fear of rejection? Not knowing where to go? The feeling that everyone already has their group, or something else. Put it down there because you're not the only one feeling it. Trust me. Okay, so here's the hard truth that we had to admit. One time doesn't count. Twice, that doesn't really count either. We've tried going to things once, maybe twice, and then when we didn't instantly connect, we'd say, well, that didn't work out, and we'd stop going. And then we complain that, well, we don't have friends. But see, friendship isn't built in 1 or 2 visits. It's built on the 3rd, 4th, 10th time that you show up. When people start recognizing your face, when they say, oh, hey, you're back. When they remember your name, when they start to relax around you because you're now familiar, that's the habit that we messed up over and over. We moved too fast, changed location too often, given up on groups too quickly. So here's the promise that we're making to ourselves, and you can steal it if it helps. When we're back in the US, we're gonna pick a couple of things and stick with them. A walking group, a local recreation center class, maybe a card or board game group. We're gonna give it time. Not 1 week, not 2, we're talking months. And when we're in Asia, same idea. Even with the language barrier, we can still show up consistently to the gym. We can find an expat meetup and keep going. We can use Facebook groups to find gatherings where English is spoken and commit to being regulars, not just tourists who dip in and out. And for you, especially if you're 55 plus, this is the simple fix that nobody wants to hear because it's not sexy. It's this: pick 1 or 2 things that get you out of the house and around other people. Then keep going long after it stops being exciting. Get the dog and walk at the same time every day. Go to the senior center every week. Join the walking group and keep showing up even when you feel a little awkward. Sit down at the card table again. Show up to the active adult community event even if you don't know anyone yet. And keep checking that Facebook group and actually go to something instead of just reading. And yeah, it'll feel slow. You'll feel like, well, nothing's happening. And then one day someone will say, hey, are you coming next week? Or we missed you last time. Do you want to grab coffee after this? And that's the moment all the boring, repetitive showing up starts to pay off. Now, admittedly, we're not there yet. Not fully. We're kind of in the messy middle. We're still the couple who looks like we have it all figured out from the outside. But inside, we're trying to solve the same friendship puzzle that you're probably thinking about. But we're not giving up on this, because money without people, it's not freedom. Travel without connection, it's just changing the location of your loneliness. And retirement without friends, that's not the life that any of us were working toward. If you're feeling behind in this area, you're not behind. You're just early in the process. Take 1 tiny step, pick 1 place to show up, then keep showing up. And remember, you're invited to join our new Facebook group. Check the link below. Want more retirement insights? Watch this next. Seriously, thank you guys so much for watching. These videos only exist because of viewers like you. I'll see you in the next one.